So good morning, all of you. Let us start the next chapter today, and we will see what is a random process. First of all, we have already studied the random variables. What are random variables? Random variable is a variable which maps the outcomes of an experiment or an event to real numbers, because every experiment cannot have the outcomes as real numbers. So we need to map for example, the head and toss or win or loss, something like that. So we can map the outcomes of an experiment to real numbers. And it is very important to understand actually the difference between what is a random variable and a random process. All right. So let us try to understand. Very, informal definition of a random process can be where the outcome is unpredictable, right? Because the word random is there. So very informal definition of a random process is outcome is unpredictable. All right. So, but let us look at the more formal definition of a random process, and let's try to understand the difference, the correct difference between a random variable and a random process. So a random process is a collection of time functions with associated probability description. So what is a random process? It is a collection of time functions. Time functions means the x-axis will have time and the y-axis will have maybe signal amplitude or any other function. So it is a collection. So it is a collection of time functions with associated probability description. I will explain this point with the help of an example. Consider a mobile telephone call. So let's consider a mobile telephone call in progress, right? So the signal is coming to the mobile and it's also leaving. So let's plot the signal amplitude, right, with respect to the time. So as the call is in progress, what we are doing is we are plotting the signal amplitude. So this is sample function number one. This is the variation of the amplitude with respect to time for the first call. All right. So consider a mobile telephone call. Look at the amplitude of the signal during the call. So this variation is this curve. This waveform is basically depicting the variation of the amplitude with respect to the time. So this is during the first call. So you can very well see that the level of the signal goes up and down in a random fashion. In a mobile call, the signal amplitude will go up and down in a very random fashion because the channel is very random, and how the channel will affect the signal at one moment of time, nobody can predict exactly. So therefore, we can very confidently say that the level of the signal goes up and down in a random fashion. So this is sample function one. In my definition of random process, it is a collection of time functions. So this is sample function one or time function one. So let us analyze the variation of the amplitude with respect to time for the second call. So let's say this is because the variation is there because in the mobile communication, let's say you are also moving. The location of the mobile is also moving. Because of that, the amplitude variations may be different. So this will correspond to sample function 2. So this is the variation of the amplitude with respect to the time from second call. All right. And in this way, you can go on plot, you can go on having the sample functions or time functions for many, many calls, right? I'm putting here and so on. So these types of graphs you can have for many calls, you know. Now, what I'm trying to say is that look at the time at 1 second, let's say. Look at all the time functions at 1 second. Let's suppose that, excuse me, let's suppose that I'm looking at the time functions at 1 second. So at 1 second, because I have only plotted 2 graphs, but there will be many graphs. Maybe you can have hundreds of graphs for different calls, you know. And I am looking at 1 second in all the graphs. And what I'm looking at is I'm looking at the amplitude of the signal with amplitude of the signal in every function at 1 second. So you will have many values available of the amplitude at 1 second if there are multiple time functions, right? So let me again repeat the things. I'm trying to analyze a mobile telephone call, and this is the signal amplitude received with respect to the time from the first call. Then this is the signal amplitude from the second call, third call, fourth call, fifth, 100, 1000, right? I'm going on analyzing the variation in the amplitude with respect to the time. But now I say that at 1 second, let's say, I find out all the amplitudes from all the graphs, right, at 1 second. So these variations of the amplitudes at 1 second, this is known as a random variable. Please understand that. I am looking at the time functions at 1 second, and I am finding out, I am looking at all the time functions at 1 second. So I am getting huge variations of the signal amplitude values. So this is corresponding to random variable at 1 second, right? And if I look, let me go to the next slide. Actually, there I can okay. So this is again the same graph I'm trying to explain. Now I look at 2 seconds. After a gap of 1 second, I look for all the amplitudes in the waveforms, right, at 2 seconds. So this is another random variable. So in the first slide, if you look, I'm taking the amplitude, I'm taking the signal values at 1 second for all the signal waveforms available for different calls. So that's a random variable. After 1 second, with a gap of 1 second, I again take at 2 seconds, at second, I take the values of the amplitudes of the signal at 2 seconds from all the time functions. So this is another random variable, right? So let me explain a random process definition. A random process looks at these sample functions. So I have already explained to you there are multiple random variables, right? But a random process will look at these sample functions and random process will try to characterize them in terms of random variables. So that's what I'm just trying to explain to you. A random process having multiple random variables. So at 1 second is one random variable, at 2 seconds is third random variable, 3 second third random variable, and so on. Collection of these random variables will result into what is known as a random process. So that's what I am trying to define here. A random process is a collection of time functions. So at least up to this point, the definition of a random process is clear. A random process is a collection of time functions. All right. I will explain you what is the meaning of with associated probability description, taking forward the example of a mobile telephone call only. Let me go to the next slide now. So here in this graph, I'm trying to explain you the same thing. I'm taking the amplitude values at 1 second, second for multiple time functions. There are many time functions for different calls, right? So if I take the amplitude values at 1 second, let me call this random variable. All the values will come under the category of a random variable. Let me define it as x1. And at 2 seconds, all the values that I will take will come under random variable x2. And let me call this collection of random variables or the collection of time functions as a random process. And I can very safely say here, if I use x, only x, so my x is a random process, x1 is a random variable at 1 second, x2 is a random variable at 2 seconds, x3 may be a random variable at 3rd second, 4th second, and so on. So a random process is actually a collection of time functions, of course with associated probability description that I will just explain. Now let's come, so this point is clear that the random process is a collection of time functions. Now let us come to the other part of the definition, which says that with associated probability description. Now my random variable x1, in this I'm taking forward this example only, but you can do the generalization for any other example also. So let us try to understand the difference between a random process and a random variable from the perspective of this example, but this is the more you can generalize the concepts, right? So when you look at 1 second, you will get multiple values of the signal amplitude. Now that value in all the sample functions is a random variable, that is x1. So if random process is x, so at 1 second, x1 is the random variable, which I have already just explained. Now this, because from the previous chapter, we know that every random variable will have a probability distribution attached to the random variable. Now it can be, if you take some other example, it can be a geometric distribution, it can be a binomial distribution, and so on. But specific to the mobile calls, the random variables have a Rayleigh distribution, Rayleigh, R-A-Y-L-E-I-G, Rayleigh distribution. This is, a kind of very bluntly, if I will speak, very just pictorially, if I look at it, it's a skewed Gaussian distribution. It is, I'm just trying, this is not Gaussian distribution, please. I will just say these words only. This is not Gaussian distribution. This is the Rayleigh distribution, which says that along the x-axis is the x variable and along the y-axis is the probability of random variable x1 for various values of x. What is x1? x1 is a random variable. What is that random variable? Taking the signal amplitudes at 1 second from all the time functions. Since you have not studied the Rayleigh distribution, so just try to remember the shape only. This is just a probability distribution for various values of x. No need to worry about what is the Rayleigh distribution. We'll not go into those issues, but they have a Rayleigh distribution. The shape of the distribution is something like this. right? So this is what is this graph? This graph is the probability density function of what? Probability density function of random variable x1. In the same way, we will have the probability density function of random variable x2, and you will see, and you can very confidently say when the gap between the time functions, this time gap is not very large, we can say that the probability distribution, because for these time 2 seconds also this is a mobile call, for 3 seconds also this is again a mobile call. Mobile calls in general will have the Rayleigh distribution only. So at 2 seconds also, at the second also, at 2 seconds also, it will have the probability distribution of random variable x2. But again, I want to stress that the shape of the distribution will again be a Rayleigh distribution only. So in the same way, you will have how many distributions? You will have multiple distributions for random variable x3, x4, x5, x6, and so on. So these distributions you will have. So let's come back to the definition of the random process. A random process is a collection of time functions with associated probability description. So what is that? Every random variable will have a probability distribution. All right. Now, again, I'm drawing again and again so that I can explain in the new slides also. So these are the marginal probability density functions, because this probability density function is for x1. This probability density function is for x2. So these are also known as the marginal probability density functions. Now, sorry. Yeah. So this is again the same graph story. This is sample function 1, sample function 2, 1 second, 2 second. I'm trying to plot the marginal PDFs of each random variable. Now, if I say the gap between the time values is not very large, right? I'm trying to define. So I have up till now, up till this point, I have described what is the random process. It's a collection of time functions with the probability distribution attached. Now I am looking for what is the stationary random process. Now, what is a stationary random process? Stationary is when the marginal PDFs don't depend on the choice of the time origin. So if you look at the 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 4 second, the probability density function will remain the same. So that's what is stationary. I will elaborate this point in the next slide a little more. Stationary is when the marginal PDFs don't depend on the choice of the time origin. So let me explain the point. PDF at time 1 is same as PDF at time 2 and so on, and which is a Rayleigh distribution, right? Now, when you go from 1 second to 2 seconds, right, the PDF remains the same. Probability density function of a mobile call at different times remain the same, right? If it will not remain the same, it will not be a stationary process, definitely. But I am stressing more on the stationary process, right? So when you go from 1 second to 2 seconds, the PDFs remain the same. So that means nothing has changed between time 1 second and time 2 seconds, except you have moved to a different location of the mobile phone. From, let's say from one location, you have moved to the other location and you're trying to analyze the signal amplitude. From third location, you are trying. So nothing has changed. Statistically, nothing has changed because the PDF of the signal amplitudes at time 1 second or 2 second, 3 second, 4 second will remain the same. So what I want to say is that statistically you are in the same statistical environment, so that PDF at time 1 is same as PDF at time 2, right? This is so because we are assuming, this is an assumption I have just explained also. This is so because we are assuming in 1 second. 1 second means going from time 1 second to going from time 2 seconds. There is a gap of 1 second. So this is so because we are assuming we don't move too far in 1 second, and therefore this will be called as a stationary random process. Meaning by the PDF of the random variable in question, x1 or x2 will remain the same. The marginal PDFs will have the same shape. So let's look at the random process again. Random process is a collection of random variables in time. Please, from where I have started, from a random process is a collection of time functions with associated probability description. And I'm taking the example of a mobile call. At 1 second, what is the random variable? At 2 seconds, what is the random variable x2? Right? So a random process, let's look at this and tries to characterize the random variables, right? So random process is a collection of random variables in time. That is, it is a stack of random variables in time. Each time the random variable has a PDF, probability distribution function. This is just more simplistic definition of random process, starting from the first definition when I introduced the random process and coming to the collection of the random variables, right? This is, if you will ask somebody who may be very experienced, I don't, I cannot vouch for any person, but in general, it is seen that if you ask this question of the difference between a random variable and a random process, what is a random variable, what is a random process, it's difficult to answer. People fumble to answer, these questions. Right. If any doubts are there, then you can ask. Then I will start the Poisson process, right? Oh, I'm sorry. In the Poisson process, this page has come before the next page. Actually, this is my starting page, and this is my next page from the. Okay, you can just because when I was doing the camera scan, so I might have done it like that. But let us. Okay, so let us look at, we have already studied the binomial distribution, Bernoulli's distribution. Now let us look at what is Poisson distribution, right? And where this Poisson distribution can be applied. So let's look at, I will explain the things with an example. So suppose that we can expect some independent event to occur lambda times over a specified interval. So we can expect that we are expecting that some independent event will occur lambda times in a specified interval, right? In the example, it will be more clear. So any independent event we are expecting to occur lambda times over a specified time interval. Now, the probability of exactly X occurrences is equal to. So what is this lambda? This lambda is we are expecting. Let me at the same time read this example statement also. Suppose a fast food restaurant can expect 2 customers every 3 minutes on average. So that's what is lambda. That the restaurant is expecting 2 customers every 3 minutes on average. Actually, how many customers are coming? It's not that point. It may happen that no customer is coming, right, in 3 minutes, or it may happen that 4 customers come in 3 minutes. So it may also happen. But we are expecting, on average, we are saying that 2 customers every 3 minutes will come to the restaurant. So that's what is lambda. Suppose that we can expect some independent event to occur lambda times over a specified interval. Now, what is the probability that 4 or fewer patrons or customers will enter the restaurant in 9-minute period? So here we are saying that in 3 minutes, we are expecting 2 customers. So that's what is the definition, that an independent event to occur lambda times over a specified interval. So we are expecting 2 customers every 3 minutes. So this is my specified interval, and this is my 2 customers. But in the question, the probability of exactly X occurrences. So we want to find out the probability that 4 or fewer, maybe 3, maybe 2, maybe 1, maybe no customer. What is the probability that 4 or fewer customers will enter the restaurant in a 9-minute period? So that's the interval we are given. Now come back to the definition. Suppose that we can expect some independent event to occur lambda times over a specified time interval. The probability of exactly X occurrences is equal to, so probability random variable X is equal to small x. This can be represented also in the Poisson case. F X lambda, X is the number of occurrences, lambda is the expected number of occurrences. This will be given by lambda raised to the power x e to the power minus lambda divided by x factorial. We can prove this statement also. We will see whether the proof is to be done in this class or not, but otherwise this is the formula of, this is the Poisson distribution, probability density function, right? This is given by lambda raised to the power x e to the power minus lambda x factorial. So suppose a fast food restaurant can expect 2, let's try to solve this question. Suppose a fast food restaurant can expect 2 customers every 3 minutes. So they are expecting 2 customers. First of all, we need to find out the value of lambda. In our case, the given statement says that in 3 minutes, 2 customers are expected. But what is the period that we are looking for to calculate the probability? It's a 9-minute period. So that means in 9 minutes, we can expect 6 customers. So our lambda is 6. I can expect 6 customers in 9 minutes. My lambda is now 6. But how many, what is the probability that 4 or fewer patrons will enter the restaurant in a 9-minute period? The average is 6, right? We are expecting 6 customers, but we want to find out कि अगर 4 ही आए या उससे कम, that the probability that 4 or fewer patrons will enter the restaurant in 9-minute period. So this probability will be equal to probability of exactly 0 if no customer comes, plus, because we want to find out the probability that 4 or fewer, that's the statement in the question, probability exactly 0 plus probability exactly 1, probability exactly 2 plus probability exactly 3 plus probability exactly 4. And we will of course apply this formula. So this becomes a Poisson distribution. This becomes a Poisson problem, Poisson distribution problem. This is a Poisson process basically. So let's try to find out. So probability 4 or fewer will be equal to, so in this case, exactly 0. So x is 0, lambda is 6. So lambda will be fixed here. X is 0 for this probability. In the case of probability exactly 1, our x is 1 and lambda is 6. So here in the third term, it is x is 2 and lambda is 6. X is 3, lambda is 6. X is 4, lambda is 6. So that's what I'm writing here. Probability 4 or fewer is equal to probability 0 colon 6, 1 colon 6, 2 colon 6, 3 colon 6, and 4 colon 6. So we have the value of x, we have the value of lambda. We can apply the same formula of the Poisson distribution. And if we calculate this 6 to the power 0 e to the power minus 6 by x factorial, which is 0 factorial, if you solve all these, you will get 0.0025, and in the end you will get 0.0025, 0.0149, and so on. And in the end, you will get a value 0.2851, which is 28.5%. So there is a 28% probability that 4 or fewer customers will enter the restaurant with the given data. And this is known as, because since X is a discrete random variable, it's not, it will be more specifically known as probability mass function. So probability mass function of the Poisson distribution is lambda raised to the power x e to the power minus lambda divided by x factorial, where x is 0, 1, 2, some positive integer. Now, what is a Poisson process? It is a type of counting process. So we are counting here that how many customers come. So what is a Poisson process? It is a type of counting in which random variable counts something over a specified time interval. So that any process where the random variable counts over a specified period of time, so that can come in the category of a Poisson process. The examples can be the number of calls received per hour by an office. So how many calls are being received per hour by an office? The number of customers in a particular hour in a restaurant. The number of earthquakes in Delhi per decade. So that can be another Poisson process, right? So there are, wait, let me come to the first slide. Okay. Yeah. So this also I need to discuss. What should be the, we have already known that what is a Poisson process where the random variable counts over a specified interval of time. So that is a Poisson process. Certain properties the process must have. The first property is memoryless property. The number of outcomes occurring in one interval, as I took the example of 1 second, 2 seconds, and 3 seconds, and so on, the number of outcomes, so the number of outcomes in one interval is independent of the number of outcomes in any other disjoint interval. For example, in the case of restaurant example, suppose I am looking for 9 minutes. So how many customers are coming in the first 9 minutes? That interval, that outcome. So in the next 9 minutes, how many customers will come? So the two intervals, the number of customers coming in two different intervals, two disjoint intervals, are independent of each other. Disjoint intervals mean the first 9 minutes and then from the next 9 minutes. So they are disjoint intervals. And the number of customers coming or the number of outcomes which are happening, so they will be independent of each other. So that's the memoryless property. The probability of an outcome in an interval is proportional to the length of the interval, right? How many, if I'm talking about 9 minutes for the restaurant, but if I'm talking about 10 minutes or 20 minutes, 30 minutes, the probability of an outcome will be changing. The probability of more than one outcome occurring over a short interval is negligible, right? So more than one outcome cannot happen in a short interval. So that is actually, this statement is actually related to the first statement only. So what I have done today is that I have introduced you to the concept of a random process, and I have tried to explain what is the difference between a random process and a random variable with the help of an example. I hope that example suits your domain also. And then I have tried to introduce the Poisson distribution, and we have taken an example also to solve the question based on the Poisson distribution. Right. So if any questions you have, you please ask. If any questions are there. I will continue with and I have also discussed what is a stationary random process, right? Stationary random process is that when you have, okay, let me come to the stationary random process. Yeah. So statistically, you are in the same behavior when you're going from time t1 to time t2. So this is so because we are assuming we don't move too far, and the PDF, marginal PDF of first random variable remains the same as the marginal PDF of the second random variable. Then it is called as a stationary random process. That means we are not giving a, suppose here is 1 second, but I give a gap of 1 hour or 2 hours. So that is a huge gap. I cannot probably say at that time this is a stationary process, because if you're in the example, if you're moving, your mobile phone is moving, so you can be at a very different terrain, right? So in that case, that will not be a stationary process, right? Then actually that will come in the concept of ergodicity. We will see what is ergodicity in the next lecture. Please ask if any questions are there. Otherwise, I will end the lecture. Okay. Thank you so much for joining the class.
Thank you, sir.